Well, I've now read all of the lengthy terms of the deal announced in Vienna, and I have to say it's even worse than I thought it would be. Not only does it guarantee Iran a path to nuclear weapons at a time of Tehran's choosing, it commits the United States and our Western European allies to provide Iran scientific and technical assistance to increase the capacity and sophistication of their centrifuges for uranium enrichment. It requires us to provide Iran with enhanced security measures to protect its nuclear weapons program, get this, against terrorists. This, the country that is the central banker of international terrorism and has been for 35 years.
All of the stated American positions, that the Iranians would never be allowed to get a nuclear weapon, that there would be the most thorough and intrusive inspection regime in history, that there was a credible military option on the table. Every one of those has gone by the wayside.
But the fact is, if the Iranians get nuclear capacity, one way that they can use that nuclear capacity is through the flash of an electromagnetic pulse, which essentially fries the entire electrical grid. And many scientists believe that it virtually renders 90% of America dead within a year. Now, this threat seems almost like science fiction. But then again, flying airplanes into major buildings of the United States didn't seem very plausible either.
Because for President Obama, the Iran deal appears to be personal. It's all about his administration's political legacy. It is, as Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes put it, the Obamacare of the second term. I think he meant that as a compliment. The president said a few weeks back that we could trust him on this deal because, quote, his name would be on it and he has the most to lose. With all due respect to Mr. Obama, this is about more than his political bragging rights. For Prime Minister Netanyahu, this is about the millions of citizens who elected him to lead them, whose extermination the leaders of Iran have said is non-negotiable.
Giving Congress 60 days to accept or reject an Iranian nuclear deal. Think what happened. In that deal, it had a provision that the Iranian parliament had the right to approve one of the attachments before it took effect. But he went to the UN not 60 days later, but within 6 days, and had the United States vote yes in the Security Council, obviating, completely undermining the ability of the United States Congress to say, no, you are going to vote no in the Security Council. Sanctions are going to continue. I believe that could well constitute a violation of this president's oath of office to uphold the laws of the United States of America. And I think we should look at that.
August may traditionally be the time for cookouts and beach trips, but there is another tradition in America. It is also the time when members of Congress spend the most time in their districts and states, hearing from their constituents. This August should be a referendum on this disastrous Iran deal. And I urge each and every one of you to contact your representatives and insist that they oppose this foolhardy deal. Go to a town hall meeting and ask about the deal. And get in touch with your friends in other states and urge them to do the same. Frank Gaffney and Fred Fleitz recently wrote an op-ed in the Jerusalem Post that set out 9 common sense parameters for an Iran agreement. You might ask them, ask your senator, ask your congressman or woman, why this deal meets none of those 9. You might ask why the Obama administration is pursuing a deal against the concerted opposition of our traditional allies in the Middle East. Not only Israel, but also Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and the Gulf states. You might ask the simplest question of all, which is why President Obama's quest for a foreign policy legacy, for a political talking point, should trump the safety and national security of the American people. I guarantee you, this fight has only begun.